right, boys, welcome to College Football 25 Imperialism, and this is about to be the biggest video we've ever done on this channel, man. 134 teams are going to face off to determine who is the king of college football, man. A risk-type concept where all 134 teams face off. Let's get into the rules. So the way it works is, on the map above my head, you can see that every FBS team has been given a territory based off their relative location on the US map. Every turn, we're going to spin the FBS team wheel with all 134 teams, and then once we have selected the attacking team, we will then spin the directional arrow to determine where they are headed. It's one and done. Lose, you are done. You go home and you give up your territory regardless if you are attacking or defending. Because of NAL rules, you cannot edit rosters in College Football 25. So because of that, we cannot do any player switching or giving up best players to the winning team. So it's purely territory based. Win, you take the territory of the team you're facing. Lose, and you are done. It's win or go home. It's going to be a bloodbath. We're expecting some crazy upsets, man. And, you know, there won't be any player stealing, but this is going to be much more insane than Madden and NFL Imperialism because there's 134 teams and only one winner, man. So a bunch of work went into this video. Hours and hours of recording, editing, everything, man. By far the biggest video we've ever done on this channel, man. So if you guys do enjoy the video, man, please make sure to drop a like for your boy. Hit that sub button if you do enjoy the content for more videos, and hit that noti bell to keep up to date with any future uploads. And let's get into College Football 25 Imperialism. So it's going to be New Mexico State versus Arizona in game number 1. Let's go. Okay, so also another thing how it works is that the team that gets selected and has to attack, they will always be the away team because they are technically traveling to another team's location. So the team that's getting attacked does have the advantage of being the home team. All games will be played on Heisman difficulty as well, 5-minute quarters. It's a bloodbath here. The Wildcats are completely destroying the New Mexico State Aggies. It is 31-7. They finally get on the board here with 2 scores late, but it is too little too late. Okay, Arizona has overtaken New Mexico State. We got a ton of games left to go. Let's get right into game number 2. Okay, game number 2 is going to be Southern Miss. Okay, Southern Miss will be going pretty much directly west. Okay, the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, which are down right above LSU, will be going, I'd say, directly west. We'll be playing ULM Monroe. It's 14-3 Golden Eagles early. 14-6 now. 17-14. Holy smokes, it's a ball game. It's all tied up at the end. Southern Miss wins by 3 at the buzzer. Okay, Southern Miss has taken down Louisiana Monroe in game 2. Let's get on to game number 3. Okay, game number 3, we got Minnesota, our first Power 5 conference foe, Big Ten football. Okay, Minnesota going directly south. That should be a big-time matchup. It could go either way. We're going to go Iowa State. All right, Minnesota on the board first, but the Cyclones answer with 7 of their own. It is 14-3 Cyclones, but Minnesota is now back on top to end the first half. It's 20-14 here. The Cyclones need an answer. 23-14, Cyclones answer back. 23-21, 30-28, a minute to play. The Cyclones could not get it done. All right, here we go. Back for game number 4 of Imperialism, man. And it took a little bit of a break. Recorded the first part yesterday. Now we're on part number 2. It is Central Michigan. Okay, they're going east. If you go from Central East, you go over to the thumb, you will be taking on U of M, Michigan, and that will be our next game, Central versus U of M. This is potential for a massive upset. Oh, God, 38-14, 52-14, Michigan, bloodbath. Okay, so now you see Michigan has taken over that entire top region with the big M. Michigan has taken over Northern Michigan from Central, and we're moving on to game 5. We got Louisville, an ACC team, Southeast. Let's head to the map. And I would say that is Western Kentucky. Now, you can make the argument it's more east. It's Kentucky. But we're going to go with Western Kentucky. Louisville, Western Kentucky. Let's go. And Louisville absolutely runs away with this one. 47-24 is your final. Okay, Louisville has taken over Kentucky. And we're moving on to game 6. Indiana, a lot of Midwest teams getting action lately. We get another Big Ten team in Indiana. Now, which direction are they headed? Southwest, slightly southwest. We are going to do Louisville again. It's Indiana traveling to Louisville. Let's go. All Cardinals early, 17-0. Dismantling the Hoosiers, but they finally get on the board at the end of the first half with 3. It's 20-10, 2017. Hoosiers mounting a comeback. But Louisville slams the door shut. 34-17, 34-24 will be your final score. All right, Louisville with a massive territory now. They have won 2 games, our first 2-game winner so far, and we're headed for game number 7. Auburn, an SEC team, our first SEC team, will be playing. Okay, the arrow decides all. They're headed north. And let's head over to the map. Okay, Auburn Tigers headed north to take on UAB. That should be a pretty easy matchup for a big program like Auburn, but we'll take a look and find out. UAB on the board with 7 points first. And holding the Tigers out of the end zone with a 10-3 lead at halftime. UAB up 17-3, trying to take down the SEC foe. 24-10, 31-10. UAB will not be denied, and they will take down the SEC Power 5 attacker. Our first upset is home. Okay, and we now see UAB take over Auburn. Let's go on to game number 8. Right past Oregon and Utah, Arizona State is the team. We are going northwest. They are headed up northwest to take on UNLV at UNLV in Vegas. Here we are in Vegas, and Arizona State up early, 9-0 lead. But UNLV Rebels are battling back. They score 7 of their own. It's 16-7 now, Sun Devils. 16-14. UNLV will not be denied. They take their first lead of the ball game. 23-20 now, though. Arizona State not going away. Right down to the wire. Fourth quarter, 27-26 Rebels. They come back to win at home. And Arizona State is stunned. All right, now UNLV has taken over a large chunk of Arizona. We're moving on to the next game. No way. 134 teams to start. Now we're down to like 126. But UNLV has just been chosen. They just got played, and now they're back on the chopping block. Okay, and they are headed north, almost directly north, slightly east. That's BYU. It meets them right in their northeast corner, I'd say. BYU, UNLV. Rebels just trying to get on the board. It's a bloodbath. 28-3, 28-10. Wait, how'd they score 1 point in this first quarter? What? All right, BYU has taken over UNLV, who previously took over Arizona State. So now BYU owns a massive spot of land for an 80 overall team. Almost lands on Louisville, who has already played. We get Stanford, another West Coast team. All right, Stanford over in California. Northern California is headed southwest. And southwest, you see Stanford right below my head, will be Stanford versus San Jose State. 7-0 Spartans early, but Stanford finally answers to end the first quarter. Stanford with 3 now, but San Jose battling back. It's 17-10, 10 unanswered by the Spartans. Stanford gets back on the board with back-to-back touchdowns, and it looks like they are going to try and close this one out. And it comes right down to the wire, but Stanford able to hang on. Okay, so now you see below me, Stanford holds a massive land share in Western California. Let's go back to the wheel. Somebody else is playing. Okay, looks like it's South Alabama. Okay, so South Alabama will be heading west, which ends up being the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, who have already played. Now they are challenged from an away team. 21 all. They are now taking the lead. 28-21, 31-21. Southern Mississippi needs to get it together, and they will. Tying it up 31 all. South Alabama late score, and Southern Mississippi cannot answer, falling just short. A 38-31 thriller. Okay, we now see South Alabama overtaking Southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi. Almost Troy, but it's Notre Dame this time. We get this is maybe our big, first big blue chip program. And let's see which direction they are headed. Okay, and Notre Dame is headed south. Notre Dame heading south means they are taking on Purdue and the Boilermakers. 34-17, 37-17, 37-24 is the final. Notre Dame handles business. Alrighty, there we go. Notre Dame has overtaken Purdue, and we are moving on to the next game. Colorado State. Okay, they are heading southeast, slightly south, mostly east. Could be controversial. I think it's more south to where I wouldn't put it against Nebraska. We're going to go Kansas State and Colorado State. And Colorado State's just getting shut out on the scoreboard. It's 28-12. Okay, so we now see Kansas State overtake Colorado State. Their logo's still in their original spot, but they do own above Colorado. So we're back to the wheel for the next game. And we get Army. Army headed to the northeast, right below Syracuse. And their arrow pointing pretty much directly northeast. I'd say should have them taking on the Yukon Huskies. Just field goals for Army in the first half. Keeping it a close game. The Huskies get back on the board, though. 3 touchdowns to none. 28-9 here. It's all Huskies. Okay, so you'll see in that top right below the big orange S, Yukon has now taken over Army, really small territories. We're headed to another game. Teams dropping like flies. And we get another Big Ten team in Rutgers. All right, Rutgers heading directly west. So this should be interesting as we see Rutgers in New Jersey. They're heading west to take on... Who the hell is that? Who the fuck is that? Okay, after some due diligence on what the hell that team was next to Rutgers, it's Temple University. So it's going to be Rutgers heading to Temple. Let's go. It's 14-all. It's a really close game. 21. Now Rutgers leading. Temple trying to battle back, but just not able to answer Rutgers' call. They do get 3. But no cigar. It's a 24-17 Rutgers win. All right, Rutgers now moving into Pennsylvania next to Penn State. None other than our first dynasty rebuild team, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Okay, headed southwest. I guess Southwest is technically taking on the South Carolina Gamecocks. So that's a massive matchup. Would be a massive upset for Coastal. Chanticleers are just getting dismantled. It's 36-9 into the fourth. 36-16. Bloodbath. Okay, now the Gamecocks have taken over Coastal and claim a lion's share of South Carolina with only Clemson to take down. Looks like we're headed out west to Washington State. Washington State is headed northwest. There's literally is no northwest. So we'll take the west part, and it's going to be Washington State versus Washington. Huskies cannot be kept off the scoreboard. 24-14. Cougars battling back, though. 17 of their own. 31-20, 34-20, 34-27 late. Cougars. 37-34 is the final. The Huskies hang on to win. Okay, we now see UW has claimed all of Washington State in the top left. Some teams starting to claim big territories in big key states, though. And Toledo has been chosen. Okay, they are headed east, slightly north. The Kent State Golden Flashes, a MAC game. Here we go. Kent State going ballistic, 24-13 now. 31-13. Oh, Kent State has blood in the water. 34-20. It's a Kent State W. Has blood in the water, can taste blood in the water. Okay, Kent State takes down Toledo, the visiting Toledo, and is moving closer to Michigan. Could they be a dark horse at 74 overall? It's going to be UTSA. And there's some really good teams in Texas, so this could be bad. Okay, UTSA will be traveling northwest. We'll go UTSA versus Texas State. Could go either way, but hey, we're going with this. And it's pretty much a standstill till the Bobcats score, and so do the Roadrunners, but so do the Bobcats, but so do the Roadrunners. And the Bobcats walk it off at the very end. Legitimately might have been the last play of the ball game. 31-27. Okay, Texas State taking over a much bigger chunk of Texas. We're on to the next one. And now officially almost 20 teams off the board. Things are really moving in this one as we get Louisiana. All right, headed northwest. I know I'm not being probably too consistent with these. It probably doesn't really matter, but we're going Sam Houston State and Louisiana just based off the location. Just a no-scoring fourth quarter, and Sam Houston all the way. 33-16. All right, Sam Houston State has taken down Louisiana, and we are moving on to the next one. Cincinnati is the next team, and where are they headed? Okay, Cincinnati headed northeast. I'd say that's the Ohio State Buckeyes. 35-10. 42-10. It is a bloodbath here. Okay, you'll see I've added a tiny Ohio State logo to where Cincy was, right next to the Ball State Cardinals and diagonal from Ohio State. All right, now our board is starting to kind of fill up. I made an adjustment, moved it into paint, fixed a lot of my lines, so hopefully the coloring and the fills are better from here on out. We're hopping right into the next game. Let's go. A Big Ten team. It is going to be Michigan State. Okay, and Michigan State is headed southeast, bottom right of the mitten, and I'm going to go Michigan. That's going to be Michigan State. We got a battle, a rivalry as old as time. And this is going to be a good one. Let's get into it, baby. Oh, man, it's looking like it's all blue, baby. 27-34-3. This is a bloodbath. Kind of telling of how it's been more recently in real life. 44-10. It's over. All right, now Michigan has overtaken Michigan State. It's time for another game. Let's get back to the wheel. Right past Oregon, we get Utah. Okay, moving back to the West Coast. And Utah is headed north by northeast. All right, we see the Utes right above BYU, and they're just headed right north to Utah State. Let's see if Utah State can pull up a big-time upset over one of the better teams in the game, to be honest. We are into the fourth. It's all Utes. 37-3 is the final bloodbath. All right, Utah overtaking Utah State. It's back to the wheel. And it's going to be Miami. Miami and Florida. Our first Florida team. And how many games have we played? A ton. That's crazy, but it is going to be Miami. Okay, it's Southwest. That is going to be Florida Atlantic. No, that is Florida International. FIU will be the Hurricanes matchup. FAU is right above them. So here we go. 44-13 right now. 47-13. Panthers get on the board late. A little bit more serviceable, but it's a 47-20 win for Miami as they take a bigger share of Florida. All right, boys. So after we've already gone through over 20 teams, man, I did want to do a quality check to make sure we hadn't accidentally eliminated someone or we weren't missing someone. And my dumbass, being from Michigan, did not notice that Eastern Michigan was not on the map that I was using. So my bad for not double checking, and I just assumed that the teams were on here based off what I had read. Eastern was not on there, so yes, they get a little bit of a 20-team advantage, but they're not a good team, so apologies for that. 110 teams remain. Eastern Michigan now in the mix. Apologies for that, but we did catch it early enough. Don't expect it to make too much of a difference. Back to the wheel. Jacksonville State has been selected. Okay, on the hot seat. They're going literally directly east, which will pit them against Kennesaw State. Okay, battle of small teams. The Owls are getting shut out. It's 37-40 to nothing. They finally get on the board, make it a little bit more serviceable. But that's brutal. 40-7. Jacksonville State blows out Kennesaw. Okay, Jacksonville State taking up some residency next to the Georgia Bulldogs. Now with Kennesaw State out of the mix, it's back to the wheel for another one. And it's Cal getting their first shot at glory. Cal, some really good teams around them. They are headed northeast. Pretty accurate, I feel like, to put them against Oregon. So it's going to be Oregon and Cal has a chance to knock off one of the top-ranked teams in the game. Let's go. It's 3-0 Ducks, but Cal doing a good job. Cal is up 7-3. Oregon's got to get it together. All right, here they go. 17-7 now. 24-7. Oregon going on a big-time run, and Cal just can't get in the end zone, but they do answer with 7. Oregon gets right back at the end and hangs on to deliver at home. 31-14. Ducks get the job done. All right, Oregon now owns a bit of California. It is on to the next game, and Cal is done. Not really many upsets yet, but hopefully we see some soon. South Alabama is chosen. They've already played a game, so slightly northwest. I'd say that's going to pit them slightly north. It's going to put them against Louisiana Tech and a chance to move further west. Let's get it going. It is back and forth here in the first half. 24-16 Jaguars, but Louisiana Tech keeping it a one-score game. Oh, man, we're headed to the fourth. 8-point ball game here. Jaguar lead, and they make it 11. Now 14, and that is going to be a South Alabama Jaguars win. Okay, South Alabama taking down Louisiana Tech. Back to the wheel for another one. It's going to be Kansas State. They've already played a game as well. They were the home team though, so this time away with some territory to give up. Kansas State headed southwest because they have that territory above Colorado because they beat Colorado State. They're going to be facing off against Colorado. So Colorado, Kansas State, that's going to be a really, really good game. One of the better games we've had so far. Let's go take a look. Okay, here we go. We are in Boulder at Buffalo Stadium, and the Buffs are up first. Kansas State answers. It's 14-7 Buffs now. 14-10, 17-14. The Wildcats are mounting a comeback, and they answer again. 24-14, 31-14. But Colorado maybe mounting a late comeback. They cannot answer. Kansas State shuts the door, goes into Colorado, and gets the job done versus Deion. And Deion Sanders and the Buffs, winless, are going home early at the hands of the Kansas State Wildcats. No way, dude. All right, maybe one of the most shocking outcomes. I think a lot of people would have been excited about Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders and Colorado to make a deep run in this thing. And they're out in the first round of their game versus Kansas State. I think Kansas State, South Alabama, and Louisville are the only 3 teams that have won multiple games. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember. So Kansas State in elite company now, and the next game is up. SMU, another Texas team. We only have one matchup in Texas so far, and this could be a big one. Okay, headed southwest. It's going to be SMU heading to College Station to take on the Aggies. Power 5 schools battling, and SMU up first in this one. I expect this to be a good game. 7-3 Aggies now. And then the SMU answers with 7 of their own. It's 10-7. Aggies battle back, but so does SMU. So do the Aggies. 6 unanswered. It's 20-17, 23-17 into the fourth quarter, and SMU answers 24-23, under 2 to play. Texas A&M gets the job done. I am left speechless at the end there. All right, Texas A&M now takes over for SMU in North Texas in Dallas. And we are moving on to another one. Is it Kansas State again? Are you serious? They're traveling again to play. This is their 3rd game. We could have our first 3-game winner, which would have them 4 territories. This has massive implications. All right, they're headed northwest, slightly west. And that's going to pit them against Wyoming. They're going to go kick Wyoming's ass most likely unless we see an upset. 6-0 early Wildcats. Cowboys still looking for their first points in the second quarter. It's 13-0 Wildcats. Finally on the board is Wyoming with 7. 14. Wyoming takes the lead, and they go again. 21-16. 28-16. Wyoming. Could they pull off the upset? No. Kansas State with 3 touchdowns in the fourth. 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Wyoming is stunned. After taking a 28-16 lead, they just gave up 25 points in the fourth quarter, and Kansas State escapes with a miracle. I mean, dude, they barely escaped there. And with that win, Kansas State has easily the largest land share out of any team. Barely escaped Wyoming, man, but they're doing it, and they are our first 3-win team. Look at that purple in the middle. Another day, another bunch of matchups here, and we are headed into our next game. Let's head over to the wheel. And we have so many teams that haven't played games yet. Almost Kansas State again, but Houston gets their name called for the first time. Let's see where they are headed. Houston is headed almost directly west. We got Houston heading to Baylor. Big Texas matchup. Let's go. And it's a low-scoring game, but Baylor on the board first. Houston answers with 7 of their own. 14-7 now Bears. 21-7 Bears. Cougars need to bounce back in the second half, but it's not looking good. Baylor up 3 scores now. Oh, and it is going to be over. 31-21. Baylor gets the W at home. All right, Baylor getting a little bit more territory. Louisville again getting selected. This will be their 3rd game, I believe. So joining Kansas State as the only 3-game team. Let's see where they're headed. They're headed directly east. It's Louisville versus Kentucky, ACC versus SEC. Wildcats on the board first, 10-0. Louisville looking to answer, but they just cannot get on the board. Shut out here in the first half. It's 17-0. Louisville really needs to respond with a late comeback, and they're doing so. 17-10. Louisville not looking great. Late, but too little too late. And Louisville falls. Our first ranked team that has lost, I believe, at this point. All right, and that is a massive development as Louisville goes down to Kentucky. Close game, 3-point game. And home field advantage continuing to play a massive factor. Kentucky now owns the entire state of Kentucky after 1 win. Looks like an ACC team, and it's going to be Clemson. Okay, Clemson headed south, slightly west. It's Georgia and Clemson. They played just last week in college football, and Georgia beat the brakes off them. Let's see what happens here as Georgia's the best team in the game, and they get their first matchup here. 3-0 Bulldogs early, but Clemson answers with 3 of their own. Tie game, 6-3 now, 10-6 Clemson, 13-10 Georgia responds, 13-all at halftime. Georgia back on the board, 20-13. Clemson trying to answer. They cannot get on the board, but it's a 7-point game late. Clemson answers. We're going to overtime, 30-27. And Clemson wins 33-30, and the #1 team in the country is done. Georgia got the ball first. They got a field goal to go up 30-27, and then Clemson responds with a touchdown to end the game. Okay, that's easily the win with the biggest implications in this entire thing. I definitely didn't think it was going to be that close, and I definitely didn't think that Clemson was going to win. But regardless, #1 team in the country is out. We've also lost Colorado. We've also lost Louisville. Some big players are out, man, and it's only going to get crazier. We're back to the wheel. This is insane. It's Hawaii. Wow, Hawaii isolated there in the bottom left, and they are going to play someone. All right, Hawaii, yep, they're going north and slightly west. I'm going to go UTEP. 3-0 Hawaii early. This one could go either way, to be honest. UTEP on the board with 3 of their own. Hawaii answers with 7. UTEP answers with 7 back. 7 again for UTEP. The Miners making a run. It's 17-10. Hawaii now ties it up late in the game. We're fourth quarter with a Hawaii getting a 3-point lead. Touchdown from UTEP. Another touchdown from Hawaii. Touchdown at the buzzer from UTEP. They win it at home. Wow. Are you serious? 13-yard touchdown from UTEP with 5 seconds left on the clock. Okay, UTEP has now overtaken Hawaii down below in the Pacific. 100 teams left. 100 even started with 134. 34 teams have been eliminated, and Bowling Green is up. Bowling Green headed directly north. Gonna be Bowling Green versus Kent State. Kent State, home team, going insane. 27-3 in the fourth quarter. Bowling Green cannot score touchdowns. They finally score, but way too little too late. All right, Kent State overtakes Bowling Green, and they are now a 2-win team. And Tulane has been selected. Slightly northwest, I believe this is going to be LSU. And it is Tulane traveling to LSU. Still 0-0 here at the end of the first quarter, and Tulane is on the board first. 3-0 here. 10-0 Tulane. But LSU with 3 scores. 17 unanswered points. 24 now. Wow. Tulane really choked an early lead, and it is going to be an LSU win. Wow. All right, Tulane is out of here, and it's back to the board after an LSU win. And North Carolina gets their first shot. Let's see where they are going. North Carolina going southeast. North Carolina versus East Carolina. 40-40. Oh, dude. Absolute bloodbath. Never really close. East side of the state now covered in Carolina blue. Back to the wheel. Eastern Carolina is done. Next wheel spin, we got another MAC team, and it's Kent State again with a shot to be a 3-win team here. Kent State could join elite company. Where are they headed this time? Okay, and they get directly west. Directly west will be Ball State. 2 of the worst teams in the game facing off. Let's go. And Ball State up 3-0 early. Could they pull off the upset here? They are the worst team in the game. It's 10-0, 10-3, 13-3. Kent State's got to get the head out of their ass. They're getting blown out here by Ball State. They're getting blown out. Kent State mounting a late comeback, 22-22. What a comeback for the Golden Flashes. They've done it. Comeback by the Golden Flashes. They're a 3-win team, and they outscore Ball State 24-9 in the second half. Kent State is 3-0 in this thing. What is happening? Okay, one of the more shocking developments is Kent State now 3-0. They have beat Toledo, Ball State, and Bowling Green to take a pretty sizable share of the Midwest. Back in the MAC again, and it's Akron this time. The Zips. Are they going to play Kent State? Could we have our first 4-win team? What in the world is happening? Why is the MAC so common at this point? They really want a MAC winner. It's north. That's Kent State, isn't it? It's Akron. The Zips going north to Kent State. Kent State gets a home shot and their chance to be our first 4-win team. Let's go, man. It's 7-6 here. We're almost to the end of the first half, and Akron answers with 3. It's 10-6 Akron. 13-6, Kent State needs to pull their head out of their ass in the fourth quarter, or they are going to give up a massive land share. It's all Akron. They send Kent State home. We do not get our first 4-win team. Kent State loses by 13 to the Akron Zips. All right, and look at that land share for Akron now. Kent State is gone. They had 3 wins under their belt. Akron takes them down. And we are looking at an ACC team, potentially. It's Stanford getting another chance. They've already played. It seems a lot of love for the Northeast. And Stanford going slightly southeast. That is going to pin them against Fresno. Fresno State, Stanford. Here we go. Fresno State is winning this one, though, right now. 14-7, 14 all here. 21-14 Cardinals. Then Fresno State answers, but this is a close battle right now. 28-24 Fresno, 31-24 Fresno State. Into the fourth quarter, we're all tied up 31 all. Stanford answers 38-31. And they hang on to win a big second quarter and a big fourth. All right, Stanford Cardinal have taken down Fresno State. Back to the wheel. Fresno is out. Almost landed on Stanford again. Arizona, they won early and haven't been called on since. All right, Arizona headed north and slightly west. North and slightly west going to pin them against BYU. That's a big territory matchup, a lot on the line as Arizona travels to BYU. Let's go. Into the fourth, 2-score game. Arizona pulling away and putting them away. as the BYU Cougars cannot upset the ranked Wildcats. Now look at that land share for Arizona in the bottom left. Holy smokes. Clemson getting another opportunity. They already took down #1 Georgia. Got to be a sleeper to win this whole thing, man. But let's see where the hell they are headed. All right, Clemson headed south, slightly west. That's got to be Georgia Tech, man. It's all Clemson, baby. They run through Georgia Tech. And Clemson is on a mission to make a statement, now 2-0. Now, it's honestly shocking how often the same teams are getting chosen. Like, there's 50-plus teams probably on this list that haven't played a single game in this entire thing. So, they'll probably get their numbers called at some point. But, like, we've only played one game in the state of Florida. Pretty unbelievable. Barely goes to Troy. Almost Appalachian State. We got Troy, who's in the state of Alabama. And here is the arrow for Troy. They're going southeast. It's not going to be Alabama. So I think that's going to be Georgia Southern. We're going to go Troy, Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern handling business at home. Troy scores late. And then another score. Troy trying to mount a late comeback. Falls just short. Alrighty, there's Georgia Southern expanding into Alabama. And with Troy out, we now have another wheel spin. Virginia Tech, big-time ACC player, is going to have a matchup. Let's see where they are headed. All right, Virginia Tech headed north and slightly west. That's going to be a matchup with Marshall. And Marshall on the board first with 7 points. Virginia Tech answers and then responds with another 3 points. But Marshall not going away, 14-10. Marshall, 21-13 Marshall, but Virginia Tech battling. This is a battle here. 24-20 Marshall. Virginia Tech takes their first lead, 27-24. Now 30-24. Marshall needs to answer. They do. Late score, but Virginia Tech right at the end. And Virginia Tech wins barely. It's 38-31. Hokies. Time and time again, the upset just comes just short. Okay, Virginia Tech moving north, taking down Marshall, and we are on to the next one. 90 teams remain. Back into the ACC here, and it's, oh, no way. Clemson again. Clemson is headed almost directly south. It's going to be Georgia State versus Clemson. And it is all Clemson now, 35-3 in the first half. Yeah, this one's over. 35-10. Clemson just running their way through Georgia. They've now taken down Georgia, Georgia Tech, and Georgia State. Only Georgia Southern left to claim the entire state of Georgia. Nevada with their first draw, I believe. All right, they're going slightly northeast. And it's going to be Nevada traveling to Boise, Idaho. It's 7-3 at halftime. This is an absolute defensive battle. 14-6 now Boise. 17-6 Boise. Wolfpack got to answer. They do. It's now 17-12. And that's all she wrote. All right, Boise taking over Nevada. That's a massive land share. We got some crazy land shares over on the left side of the map. Kansas State, Arizona, Boise. Just a lot more spread out over there. But, hey, we're going to continue working. Let's go. And a new team potentially. Here we go. It's barely almost to Michigan, but it's UCLA getting their first shot. This could be a massive game because we got USC right there. We got Arizona right there. They're going directly west. That's going to be Stanford Cardinal. Stanford hosting UCLA. 24-7.5. UCLA looking to take charge and claim a land share. At home, at Stanford, they handle business and beat the brakes off the Stanford Cardinals. Or Cardinal, I guess. But still. California looks pretty good in that UCLA blue. And we are on to the next one. ACC team. Virginia Tech gets their number called once again. Almost directly north. And for Virginia Tech, that's going to be West Virginia. 14-13 at halftime. This is a close battle for the state of, or West Virginia versus Virginia. Hokies kind of pulling away, but it's late, and Hokies shut the door. 31-17, late West Virginia touchdown, but it does not matter. 31-24, Hokies get the job done. All right, there goes Virginia Tech with another win and taking over the state of West Virginia. It's Kentucky just on the line. Kentucky, an opportunity going northwest. We're going to go UK, traveling to Notre Dame. Wildcats not doing jack. They look overmatched. And we are into the fourth. Going to need a massive comeback for Kentucky. And it did not happen. Notre Dame hangs on at home. 27-13 win. Okay, although Akron and Notre Dame are damn near the same color, we still see the black line separating them. Notre Dame now with a massive land share completely owns Indiana and completely owns Kentucky. They're taking over. They're a top 10 team. Definitely got to be one of the teams to keep an eye on to win the whole damn thing. Back to the wheel. Alrighty here. Another team up, and looks like it's a MAC team. It's going to be Ohio. Get some of these little teams out, or maybe give them an opportunity to upset, but Northeast, slightly east, is going to pit Ohio against Ohio State. Battle for Ohio would be one of the biggest upsets possible. 28-0. Oh, brother. Oh, controller died. It knew it was so bad. We don't even need to look at the score. This game's over. 63-6. Holy shit, that's the biggest blowout we have seen by far. All right, here we go. Ohio State owning a large part of Ohio now, battling with the Zips for the majority share. We're on to the next team. Let's go. Okay, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has not played a game yet. Okay, Pittsburgh is headed southwest. So it's going to be Pitt traveling to Virginia Tech to take on the Hokies. 34-3. Pitt finally gets on the board at the very end of the game, but that's all she wrote. 34-10, big Virginia Tech win, and Pitt is done. Okay, Virginia Tech really starting to gain some ground now. They have taken down Pitt and moved up into Pennsylvania. Middle Tennessee State, haven't gotten them yet. They are headed slightly north, but mostly east. That's going to be Tennessee. Tennessee versus Middle Tennessee State, and an opportunity for a big-time underdog to upset the Vols at home. Blue Raiders have got to get on the board. Started out with 7, and they've let 20 unanswered, 23 unanswered. Finally get 3 of their own. 23-10. Ooh, Blue Raiders. Come on. Late comeback. 23-17. They made it interesting, but they just could not get out of their own way. They allow 17 points in the second to Tennessee. Really low-scoring game. And down goes Middle Tennessee State. Tennessee gets a bigger share of the state of Tennessee, and we are moving on to the next one. It looks like we are in the Big Ten as Maryland is getting their first shot. I do not think they have played a game yet. Maryland headed southwest, slightly west. Maryland traveling to Virginia. Let's go. It's 14-10 in the second half now, and both defenses battling here. Terrapins get 7, 21-13. It's a one-score game. Virginia ties it up late. 24-21, 24-24. We're into OT. And Virginia wins in overtime and sends the visiting Terrapins home. The ACC comes out on top. What a game. All right, and Maryland is done. Virginia moving into Maryland's territory and on to the next one. Mississippi, Ole Miss gets their first call. And Ole Miss heading southwest. It's got to be Arkansas State. Red Wolves. Here we go. Ole Miss on the board first with 7 points. Red Wolves trying to answer. They do. 7-7. Ole Miss 14-7. 14-10. Now Red Wolves keep getting on the board somehow. 17-10 Ole Miss. 20-10 Ole Miss. Red Wolves need to get something going quick. They get stopped on the goal line, it looks like, and Ole Miss is going to win this one, 26-10. Okay, and Ole Miss overtaking Arkansas State. We still have so many teams, guys, that haven't played a single game. At some point, the levee's got to break. These big programs, they have got to get their feet wet. It's going to be Air Force. Okay, Air Force. Pretty much going directly west here. That's going to be Arizona. That'd be insane. If all that territory of Arizona, if Air Force wins this, good God, that'd be insane. Let's go, man. Come on. All right, this is looking like it's all Wildcats. 31-3. This is a bloodbath. Arizona kicks the shit out of Air Force at home, and the upset will not be alive. All right, Arizona has moved into Air Force territory, and now the state of Colorado is completely gone from what it originally was. Kansas State and Arizona both own territories, and those teams could now face off against each other. So we're getting to a point where the ranked teams are starting to kind of move into the same territory from all over the place. Really exciting stuff. Let's move on. And we got Tennessee. They just won when being attacked. Now they're going on the road. And Tennessee will be going north by Northwest. They're going to Virginia Tech. That's a big-time matchup. A lot of territory for Virginia Tech on the line. This should be a crazy game. 14-3 Hokies. 21-3 Hokies. No way. Are they really going to blow them out? It's 28-10 at half. Volunteers got to get something going here. They cannot score, and it looks like it's all Virginia Tech right now, as it's too little too late for the Volunteers, and the number 15 ranked Volunteers go down to the Hokies 28-17. Virginia Tech continuing their dominant run with a double-digit win over ranked Tennessee, who was a top 15 team in the country. That's insane. It's now an ACC team. It's going to be Florida State. Florida State, a very, very good team as well. That's directly west. And that's going to be South Alabama versus Florida State. Jaguars, get it together. You got a 15-point ball game, and I think Florida State just shut the door, 30-19. And look at Florida State. They literally just quadrupled, quintupled their land share with one win over South Alabama. Looks like it's going to be UConn. They have already played a game. I don't remember if they were attacked or defending, but they have won, and they are back on the board here. Northwest. That's going to be Syracuse. That's going to be right directly northwest, and it's all Syracuse. Good Lord, this is a bloodbath. 34-0 in the first half. 37-0. A shutout. I know UConn's one of the worst teams in the FBS, but good God, man. All right, Syracuse Orange take down the Huskies, and they are taking a big portion of that Northeast region. You know, Penn State still hasn't played yet, though. They're probably the favorite to come out of that region, but hey, Syracuse maybe saying, hey, we belong there too. Barely makes it out. It's Washington. If this is South, we're going to see Washington and Oregon. That would be insane. Southwest. Okay, never mind. Not Oregon. I'm completely wrong. I don't even know my geography. Oregon State stands in the way. It's going to be Washington traveling to Oregon State. Beavers putting up a fight. It's 17-6. Huskies not going away, though. They get 7, but another 7 from the Beavers. 24-16, though, an 8-point game. Washington ties it up. We are into the fourth quarter. It's 27-24. Beavers need a score here, and they do not get it. Washington hangs on with 17 unanswered in the second half. Washington with a massive land share now in the Pacific Northwest. And, you know, I got to root for them, man. I do live in Seattle, so got to love what they are doing with only an 82 overall team. Could they be a dark horse? They have a potential matchup with Oregon next, so that could be a tough one. Oh, baby. It's my Western Michigan Broncos. Let's go. Southwest. Now, that will match them up against Notre Dame. That'd be a massive upset. I mean, I'm gonna freak out if they somehow win this. They're traveling to Notre Dame. 27-10 Notre Dame, 34-10. Oh God, this one's over. 37-10, 37-17. They make it. Okay, 37-24. A little bit of a late run in garbage time from Western Michigan, but 8th ranked Notre Dame handles business. 37-24. All right, my team Western Michigan is done. Underdog sleeper of the entire thing. Yeah, for sure. Notre Dame gets a big-time W, and they now bump up against Michigan, which would be an insane matchup, 8 versus 9. So hopefully we see that soon, but we're back to the wheel. Let's see what they got for us. And it's going to be the Akron Zips. So they're going east. That's right at Virginia Tech. So it's Virginia Tech versus Akron. Virginia Tech has had so many games, and they're hosting Akron this time. This game getting away from Akron a bit. Can they mount a monster second half comeback? Not looking likely. 45-10. Oh, it's a bloodbath. Virginia Tech absolutely smashes Akron. All right, Virginia Tech taking Akron's territory. They now have like a big ass fucking like boot almost. Okay, and a team that we have not seen yet, Kansas, is going to be playing a game. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see some new teams. Kansas is headed northwest. We're going to Kansas versus Kansas State based off the direction. Big rivalry game. Lots of territory on the line. Let's go. 10-3, but Kansas State ties it up here in the second. Kansas State taking the lead. It's back and forth here. 27-17 Jayhawks now. Kansas State not going away. They answer. Jayhawks answer again. Kansas State answers again. 41-31. 48-31. Kansas goes into Kansas State and takes down the Wildcats. All right, Kansas has officially taken over Kansas State. So all that purple has turned to, I guess, what is that? Like a light pink, like a salmon almost. Crazy to think that Kansas is actually good now, because they were one of the worst teams in football for so many years, and they've just completely turned around. So pretty cool to see, but Kansas State is gone. Almost Eastern Michigan. Sam Houston gets another shot. Almost Liberty as well. They haven't played yet, but Sam Houston. All right, there's a little bit of West there in that one at least. It's going to be Sam Houston going to Baylor. Bearcats not doing anything. 24-0 here. Finally get 3 in the third quarter. A little bit of a consolation prize. It's not looking good. 27-11, 27-19. Holy shit. They almost made it a game there. It was 16 points in the fourth quarter, but too little, too late. All right, Baylor overtaking Sam Houston State. They're off the board, and we're on to the next one. Okay, could be Ohio State here. Oh, it's going to be Rutgers again. Okay. Rutgers going southwest. We're going to go Penn State here. I think Virginia's more south. And Rutgers is traveling to take on the Nittany Lions. Rutgers is up early. 7-3. 14-3. Nittany Lions got to get their shit together. I expect them to. 21-10. Holy smokes. 21-16. We're headed to the fourth with a Rutgers lead. Oh, Nittany Lions battle back. 31. Oh, man. Oh, man. What is that? That's 28 unanswered. What was their fourth quarter? They scored 29 points in the fourth quarter. All right, there's Penn State getting a win under their belt and taking a much more sizable land share. If we can get them versus Virginia Tech, that could really shake things up. Now down to 70 teams, man. We are damn near halfway done. Washington is selected again, and if this is south, we're getting Washington, Oregon. All right, spin the arrow. Speaking into existence. It's south, directly south, and Washington is traveling to Autzen Stadium. It's Huskies and Ducks. Huskies are not able to do anything against this Ducks defense, man. It's 27-3. It's late, and the Huskies do all of jack shit on offense. 27-3. All right, Oregon absolutely owns the Pacific Northwest. And one other thing to note as well, boys, is that all the white states are also up for grabs for a free turn, essentially. So like if they don't have to attack if they land on a white state and they just get that territory for free. No one has landed on a white state yet, but like if Boise gets north or something, then they can just take Montana and move on and not have to attack and risk being eliminated. So alrighty, Syracuse gets a matchup here, and they just recently won. I think they kicked the shit out of UConn, if I remember that right. Could have a chance at a white state here if they get like a northeast direction. No, they get directly west. And that's going to pit them against Buffalo. We're into the fourth, 23-3. This is a bloodbath, man. Next to Syracuse, we still got UMass and Boston College. But like other than that, it's going to be like Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Penn State. Like we're getting to the point where some massive matchups are still going to happen. And we still have so many small school tiles that have not played yet at all. It's just mind-blowing that they haven't gotten landed on, and we've had a bunch of duplicates. Okay, and we get a new team. Oklahoma State. They have not played yet, and they're going directly east. Directly east to play Tulsa. So they get a pretty favorable first matchup, but hey, Tulsa could surprise us. Let's go. It's 24-10. Tulsa not going away, though. The answer was 7. They're going to have to do more. Down 7 in the fourth quarter. They need to mount a touchdown drive, and they do. Late 24-24. We're going OT. And the Cowboys win in overtime. Tulsa with a field goal on their first drive in OT, and the Cowboys punch it in for 6 and somehow hang on. I mean, oh my God. Okay, and there goes Tulsa. Oklahoma State taking over the northern part of Oklahoma. Only 2 remain there. Onto the wheel. Florida Atlantic is chosen, and we are exactly halfway done. So after we figure out which direction Florida Atlantic will be going, we will take a look at the progress and what has happened in the first half. Florida Atlantic going east. I don't think that they even can. No, that's right into the ocean. So let's get another spin. Florida Atlantic going south. And that should be a matchup with the Miami Hurricanes. It will be. Before the Florida Atlantic game, as we are halfway done, let's take a look at some crazy things that have happened. So Georgia loses in the first quarter of games to Clemson. Number 1 team is out. We've seen big runs by Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. Virginia Tech clearing out a large chunk of really good competition. They beat Pitt. They beat West Virginia. They beat Tennessee. Notre Dame has taken down Kentucky in the SEC. Kentucky, who took down Louisville. Kansas beat Kansas State and claimed all their territory with 1 win. Oregon took down Washington. And UCLA has taken down Stanford and others in the state of California. There's still some teams we haven't even seen play a game. We haven't seen Alabama yet. We haven't seen LSU. We haven't seen Texas yet. And we are halfway done. Pretty insane. And we're going to see even more craziness. But one thing we have seen is that a lot of the top teams, even when they're down, they find a way to sprint back in or win at the last second in the fourth. Like we just saw Oklahoma State nearly lose to Tulsa. They went to overtime and scored on their final possession to win. So pretty insane. I can't wait to see how this shakes out. If you guys are enjoying this, man, took me a long time to make it. So at the halfway point, I'm going to remind you guys, please make sure to drop a like for the video, man, and comment, man. Run this shit up for you, boy. And I'll keep making these fun type of videos, man. So I appreciate you guys so much. Let's keep it going. 28-7. Owls kind of getting ran out, but they do score. 28-14. Still room for the Owls to come back. Neat 10-point ball game. All right, late score, but it's too little too late. 34-28. Miami beats FAU. All right, Miami taking over a bigger chunk of Florida, but still a ton of Florida teams left. Okay, here we go. Big Ten. It's Northwestern. Their first game. They're going south, and they will be taking on Northern Illinois. This is a winnable game for Northern Illinois. They're up 14-0, 17-0 at home, man. Giving it to the Wildcats. 17-7. Represent for the Mac boys. They are letting Northwestern back into this ball game. 17-10. Comeback for Northwestern. It's not enough. The door is closed, and the Northern Illinois Huskies have taken down the attacking Northwestern Wildcats. Let's go. Okay, and we see a MAC school win. There we go. Northern Illinois taking down Northwestern. And there are now just 2 teams left in Illinois. Almost went to Vanderbilt, who we have not seen yet. Could it be Utah versus Arizona? No, they're going north. That's a matchup with Kansas. And that's a game with massive implications. 2 ranked teams. Here we go, baby. 14-7 now, Utes. Jayhawks struggling to put points up. 14-10 here. 21-10 late. Jayhawks kind of need a miracle, and they don't get it done. After scoring 45, I think, against Kansas State, the Jayhawks put up 13 against the 12th ranked team in the country. Look at that land share for Utah now. That is the hottest commodity right now, is everybody. That territory keeps switching hands, man. All right, here we go. Ooh, Southern Cal. USC getting their first matchup here. Over halfway done, and USC has gotten their first one, and they are going northeast. Pretty much directly at Arizona. That'd be insane. 35-13. USC is just lighting Florida up. Or Arizona up, I'm sorry. 35-29 though. Arizona needs a late comeback. But it's too little too late. Wow. They almost came back 23 points in the fourth. It's just too little too late. 38-36. One game, and USC has that massive land share now with Arizona out of the picture. That's absolutely insane. UMass. First time UMass has been selected, and there's only like 2 teams that they could play. Either Boston College or Syracuse. I like that new teams are getting selected more often here, but they're going slightly south. Isn't there nothing south of them? No, that's going to be Syracuse. UMass visiting Syracuse. Imagine they win, bro. And it's still 0-0 here late in the first half. UMass is up 10-0. Can we get an upset? 17-0 UMass. No way. Syracuse battling back. It's 20-6. 2013. 23-13. UMass has upset the Syracuse Orange. Let's go, baby. That's one of the biggest upsets we've had. Okay, UMass. Massive upset. Maybe, no pun intended. Probably the biggest upset we've seen here. An independent team taking down a Power 5 program. in this Syracuse Orange, who had won multiple games and had a pretty sizable territory. So let's see how long they can hang on to it. But for now, that's massive. Jacksonville State. They have played one game so far. Almost got James Madison, who hasn't played a single game. And they're going literally directly west, which is going to pit them right against Ole Miss. 26-3, 33-3. This is a bloodbath. It's all Ole Miss. All right, and Ole Miss just got even bigger. Jacksonville State is done. Okay, it looks like it's Memphis. Memphis's first time being selected, and they're going southeast. Do think I'm going to give that to Virginia Tech. Memphis is putting up a dogfight here, 14-7. Hokies really being tested. 28-14 here. Wow, Memphis. 28-17, 35-17. Hokies at risk of losing everything. Need an insane fourth quarter comeback, and they've got it. Did they? Memphis hangs on and upsets Virginia Tech 38-36. Holy smokes, I was at a loss for words there at the end. 2-point conversion failed. They try and run the football, and they scored 19 points in the fourth quarter, but it was too little too late, and Memphis gets the W and inherits a giant land share. I can't believe Virginia Tech. I thought that they might push till the end. That's crazy. All right, Memphis takes down juggernaut Virginia Tech in one game. And that's why it proves you don't want these big land shares. Like Memphis, they could now lose all that again. And of course, then I have to take the time to color it in. So I'm really hoping they don't. And it's another new one. Texas Tech gets the draw. All right, and they're going northeast. Northeast for Texas Tech. That is a matchup with the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Let's go. Dude, Texas Tech cannot get points on the board whatsoever. This is a bloodbath. Oklahoma State the whole way, 40-7. Okay, Oklahoma State knocks out Texas Tech. Look at that ground they just made up, man. Big territory moving into North Texas. Okay, another first team. It's Appalachian State getting their number called. They can make a run here. That's slightly northeast. Looks like they are taking on Wake Forest. 7-0 Wake Forest. Appalachian State answers, though. It's 10-7. This is a close battle. 10-all here. 17-17. 24-17. Holy offense. Wake Forest trying to battle back and catch up, and they actually take the lead. Appalachian ties it up late. Inside 2 minutes here. Wake Forest looking to win it. And they do. Late field goal, and Wake Forest escapes upset as a Power 5 team survives. Appalachian State does not play upset this time, and they're done. All right, there's Wake Forest taking down Appalachian and moving even further west, man. 2 new teams getting involved. Okay, Arkansas. They have not played yet either. This is awesome. So we're starting to really rip through some teams as some duplicates have been eliminated now. They're going southeast here. That's going to be Arkansas visiting Ole Miss. Really good defensive battle, low-scoring affair, and Arkansas takes the lead 10-7 into half. Arkansas up 13-7, but Rebels take the lead. They battle back. Oh, this is a back-and-forth game here. End of the game, Arkansas up by 8. Ole Miss answers, but Arkansas has pulled off the upset. Arkansas wins by 3 and takes down the 5th-ranked Rebels. Are you serious? A late field goal. I mean, how late was that? I could barely keep up with how many scores were happening. Ole Miss kicked a field goal with no time left to tie, and they missed it. But yeah, it looks like Arkansas made a field goal with 28 seconds left. That's just how close it was. And the Razorbacks take down the 5th-ranked Rebels. All right, and down goes Ole Miss, another top-ranked team, man, and Arkansas getting the conference SEC upset. And we are moving on, but that maybe is one of the biggest upsets we've had, is an unranked team beating a top 5 team. Okay, and finally, we get another Florida team, and it is Florida. The Gators, 4 or 5 times in a row, we've gotten a brand new team, and they are going directly south here. Florida traveling to UCF. 28-17 at half, 31-17. Gators really going on a run. 10-point ball game, though. UCF has time, but oh, shoot. Gators pulling away, 41-31 and 44-31. And the Gators offense really showed up. All right, things getting a little interesting in Florida now. Only 4 teams remain. Okay, Texas A&M, they have played a game. Looks like they're going slightly northeast. Depends if you're going by their upper or their lower territory, but I mean, did a little bit of thinking. We're going with Arkansas, so it's Texas A&M going to Arkansas. 13-0. Okay, the Aggies, they're ranked. They got to get their head out of their ass. What are they doing? Finally get on the board with 7. All right, they take the lead now, and Arkansas finally answers. It is late, and it doesn't matter. Arkansas, another upset. They take it down back-to-back ranked opponents. First, number 5 Ole Miss. Now they take down number 24 Texas A&M. This is the giant killer. All right, look at all that Arkansas Razorback territory. They take over 2 spots in North Texas and Central Texas, I guess, where A&M is. So, man, dude, I mean, crazy developments happening, but hey, we're going to keep going, man. Let's go. We're nearing the top 50. Ooh, and UTEP is back, baby. They control Hawaii. That's going to be southeast, and that's going to be Texas. This is probably a 0.01% chance of happening, but if it does, I'll lose my mind because Texas hasn't played a single game. They load up and lose to UTEP. 21-7. UTEP, you got to saddle up. Buckle in. 21-10. Here we go. 24-10. UTEP not getting blown out by any means, but just can't get in the end zone. All right, Texas with a win. UTEP is out. Let's keep going, man. Alabama, it's first time being chosen with only 54 teams left. Like, that's pretty Alabama-ish. They're going directly south. They're taking on Florida State. That's a crazy first matchup. Florida State versus Alabama. Saddle up, boys. 21-14 Seminoles, and the Tide get 3 right before half. Then get 7. Then 33-21 Alabama. Can't even keep up. 36-21 Seminoles are done. They're dead in the water. They lost steam in the second half, and Alabama with a 22-7 run in the second half. Complete takeover. Alabama has burst through the door like the Kool-Aid man and says, we're here, and we're trying to win this whole damn thing. All right, Alabama starting out 1-0 versus Florida State. What a draw in their first game. They handle business. Right over Old Dominion, it's Georgia Southern. They have already played a game, but they haven't played since like really early on. So, okay, going directly north. Georgia Southern going to Clemson. We probably know how this is going to end up. Hey, 31. Dude, this is a bloodbath. Clemson has been going crazy in these sim games, dude. 51-28 is the final. All Clemson. All right, and things are really starting to heat up in the South. Alabama, Clemson, Arkansas, and Florida all share a border. So any of those teams get chosen, all hell could break loose, man. Here we go. Going over to the Big Ten, and Iowa gets its first call. And Iowa going south and slightly east. Not sure if that'll make a difference. We're going to take the South into factor. We're going to go Iowa versus Missouri. 3-3 at the end of the first quarter. Now 6-3, now 13-3. Iowa actually scoring points. That's how you know this is a simulation. 2013 Iowa. 27-13 Iowa. Iowa's got upset on the mind. They're up 11 in the fourth. Now 14 in the fourth. Missouri gets a late score. It's not enough. Iowa takes down the number 10 team in the country. That's a massive upset win for Iowa. There's Iowa owning the state of Missouri now. Okay, after this, we will have 50 teams left over. Okay, it looks like Boston College gets their first call. Unless they get directly west, they have all whites around them, so they could really get a freebie, essentially. They get just southwest, which is going to be that little sliver right there of white. They get a freebie and take this little sliver right here. Rice, as well, has not played a game yet. This is a pretty tough part of Texas, and they're going northwest. Northwest is going to put them up against the Baylor Bears. It doesn't get any easier after that. If they somehow pull off the upset, they'll be bordering Alabama, LSU, and Arkansas. 31-10 here in the end of the third quarter, and they just destroy them in the second half to a rout 38-17. All right, now with 50 teams remaining, boys, this is what the map looks like. And there's some massive territories. There's still some big teams that have not played that have snuck their way into the top 50, and then a couple teams that have played a billion games. So we're still ready for madness, into the top 50. Let's go. Okay, could it be? It's Arkansas, big territory team, traveling to play somebody. Now this could be massive, and they are headed southwest. That's tough because they have 2 squares in Texas. I'm gonna say that's Oklahoma, who hasn't played a game, by the way. So it's going to be Arkansas traveling to Oklahoma to take on the Sooners. 3-0 Sooners early. Arkansas on the board with a touchdown, though. Oh, it's 7-6 into the second quarter. And Arkansas looking to put some more points up. 10-6 here. 10-9 at half. Low scoring affair here in the SEC. Arkansas with a small lead, but the Sooners take their first lead of the game. It's back and forth here in the fourth. 7-point lead, all tied up. Arkansas scores at the very end of the ball game, and they will hang on to win. 37-30. Oklahoma will be stunned, winless, and Arkansas takes down another ranked opponent. All right, and Arkansas moving probably into the top 3 for land share. It's heating up here, boys. It's getting crazy. And things are only going to get crazier from here on out as another ranked team falls in the Oklahoma Sooners. NC State, there we go. There's a new team and a ranked team. They have not played yet. Southeast. That's NC State versus North Carolina. That's a big-time rivalry game. Now into the second quarter, 6-0, 13-3. Wolfpack up 20-3, 27-3. Tar Heels, 34-3. It's a bloodbath here in the second half. Are you serious? Holy shit. All right, down goes North Carolina. Really good ACC team, and NC State is finally on the board with their first win. UCLA, barely, almost to Michigan, but UCLA is getting their number called once again. Northeast, that's probably something we can work with. Northeast, we're going to go UCLA versus Boise. 10-9, now 17-9, 17-12. Back and forth matchup, and the Broncos take the lead. 2 touchdowns. But Boise, Bruins answer, and they get a late field goal. It's all tied up. We're going to OT. Multiple OTs. Who got it done? Boise. Boise wins in double overtime, 43-41. Man, with these crazy high-score games, it's getting really hard to commentate these because they score so damn quickly. I can't even get my words out, but what a game. All right, and there goes Boise taking down UCLA and moving their way into California. Northern Illinois, they already won one. They won from the visiting Northwestern Wildcats, and now they get another opportunity here. Northern Illinois is headed southwest. Maybe I'm completely brain dead, but I do think that that's Northern Illinois against Illinois. The battle for Illinois ensues. All right, here we go in this one. Northern Illinois up 7 early. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Take down the big Goliath. 10-0 now. 10-3 though. Illini fighting back. Northern Illinois has got to shut the door. Do not let this team hang around. They're up by a full score now. Multiple scores. 20-12 though. Illini fighting back. Can they tie it up late? 1 minute to play. And it's over. Northern Illinois has defeated both Big Ten teams in the state of Illinois. And they are representing for the MAC as they now stand alone in the state of Illinois. I mean, this was a +8 overall matchup, and they went to their territory and beat them. All right, and there goes Northern Illinois claiming the state of Illinois. Wow, because they're a 74 overall team. So the fact that they have that much territory is insane. All right, some recent success for the attackers. Maybe the wheel has switched karma, and you actually want to be selected to go on offense, but the Boston College Eagles Eagles, I believe. Boston College will be selected. They have one of the more favorable locations, and I'm just gonna give them Maine at this point. Boston College just again not have to play anyone, and we're moving on. Boston College may be the luckiest team in this entire thing, to be honest. Okay, looks like Eastern Michigan getting their first call, and really at this point, I believe they can only play Michigan. Directly southwest, they could play Notre Dame. All right, unless this is directly southwest, it's going to be Michigan versus Eastern. It's north. It's going to be Eastern versus Michigan, traveling to the Big House. This would be the biggest upset of the entire thing. Eastern sucks. If the Eagles can put up any bit of a fight, I will be impressed. Yeah, this is a bloodbath. 35-0. They might get shut out here. 42-0. 49-0. At least the weather's nice. Okay, Michigan now stands alone in Michigan besides Notre Dame, who owns Western Michigan Broncos, Southwest Michigan. So that matchup is directly queued up. A lot of these smaller schools are getting eliminated quickly. All right, barely moves to TCU. TCU has not played a game yet. They will get the chance now. They are going to go Northwest. Oh, man, is that close. Can I get a respin, please? I mean, why do they always have to make these so fucking difficult for me? You know what? Screw it. I think we're going to go TCU Horned Frogs versus USC. It's pretty much straight diagonal. Okay, it's a defensive battle here right now. 13-7 Horned Frogs. USC on the board before the end of the half. 16-10 Horned Frogs. 24-10 Horned Frogs. USC battling back, but TCU just continues to pile on points late in the ball game, and TCU has upset the Trojans 31-24. Oh my God. All right, down go the Trojans, and TCU has a massive land share. Can we just get the New Mexico Lobos a chance here to upset, or San Diego State? Like, they're just hidden here in a war zone. Let's see what happens here. It's going to be Wake Forest. Wake Forest headed directly east. I mean, we got to say that the first east point is Charlotte. Wake Forest scores at the end of the first half. They score again. Charlotte battling back, but they just can't get it into the end zone consistently. 31-10 is the final. And Charlotte just really could not score on this team. They're done. All right, Charlotte's first matchup, and they are now done. Going Big Ten this time. Minnesota. Minnesota going northeast. Just going to pit them against Wisconsin. A major Big Ten battle here. Let's go. Badgers, Gophers. It's a 7-point ball game. It's anybody's game right now. 20-10 now. 23-10. Badgers finally score late, and they score twice. They take the lead. It's 24-23. Badgers hang on and win the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. All right, Minnesota's gone. Wisconsin gets their first win and claims a large chunk of territory. Is it going to be Boise again? That's crazy. Okay, we got Boise State again, and they're probably going to play someone really good. Or they're going to get an empty territory. That's exactly what they're going to get. Northeast. They're getting Montana. Someone else will not be so lucky here, as it's going to be North Texas. I don't think they've played a game yet, and they get their chance right now. Okay, North Texas is headed west, and that should be a matchup with TCU if I'm not mistaken. No, it is Oklahoma State. 14-0 North Texas. We're into the second half, boys. 21-3 North Texas. Can they do the impossible into the fourth quarter? It's a 2-score game. It's a 21-point lead, and it's a blowout in Stillwater. North Texas takes down the 18th ranked Cowboys. Okay, one of the more shocking upsets we've seen in this entire thing, if not the most shocking. The number 18 ranked team in the country has just lost to a non-Power 5 program in the North Texas Mean Green. I can't really think of a bigger upset at this point. North Texas taking down Oklahoma State. Wow. And it's going to be Clemson. They've been tough to beat. They've been steamrolling through teams throughout this thing. Haven't played in a while. And they're headed southeast. Clemson going down to the swamp to take on the Gators. 21-7 into the fourth quarter. It's 35-7. Big run by Clemson. And this is a blowout. And they win 42-21. All right, Clemson, who has now moved from South Carolina. They ran through the state of Georgia, and now they're down into Florida, just working their way through the South. They have a potential matchup with Alabama looming as well. So a bunch of big matchups just are queued up and ready to explode at any moment. Pause. And it's going to be Northern Illinois again. We see 3 teams above them that haven't played a single game. Liberty, James Madison, Old Dominion. None of those schools have done anything. They're going east, slightly south, taking on Notre Dame. I mean, they've taken down 2 Big Ten schools, but this is a different beast. Taking on the number 8 Fighting Irish. Can Northern Illinois complete the Cinderella run? 7-0 early. The Huskies are putting up a fight. They are giving Notre Dame the work right now. It's tied up. We're near the second half here. It's 13-10 at halftime. Northern Illinois, keep fighting for me, boys. Back and forth. Notre Dame pulling away. And oh, it was so close for the Huskies, man. They put up such a good fight. All right, there goes Northern Illinois. Almost came close to pulling off the upset over Notre Dame. And now Notre Dame gains control of Illinois and taking over the Midwest slowly. Here we go. Another team. Let's get one of those guys in the east side that still has not played anybody. We will. We will. It's going to be Old Dominion. We speak it into existence. And it looks like Old Dominion is going south, slightly west. And that's going to pit them against NC State. Old Dominion keeping it a game, though. It's a one-score game here in the fourth. And holy shit. Crazy run in the fourth quarter by NC State. 17 unanswered points. 38-13. NC State handles business. It's like South Florida gets their name called for the first time as well. There's only 2 teams they could play. We'll give it to Clemson. So South Florida traveling to Clemson to take on the Tigers. It is still 0-0 here at the end of the first half. Tigers finally on the board. Bulls get 3 though before half. 7-3 in the second half. Bulls up by 3. 10-10 though. Clemson ripping off some points here late. And they hang on. What a low-scoring affair. But the Bulls just could not do just enough. All right, down goes USF. And only one team remains out of the Florida teams. And it is the University of Miami hiding there down on the tip of Florida. And we are close to 100 teams being eliminated so far. As Memphis, who has a massive territory after upsetting Virginia Tech, now gets their name called once again. There's so many teams they could play directly east. To be honest, I'm going to go for their logo, which is directly central, and I'm just going to travel them directly east towards JMU and James Madison. And now 28-3. It's looking all Tigers, man. This is... JMU is going to need a monster comeback. It's just not happening. Too little, too late. All right, so a lot of these smaller schools are getting eliminated. We see Charlotte, Old Dominion, James Madison, all being eliminated recently. But UAB gets their call. They haven't played since upsetting Auburn, like in the first, 10 games, I think. They're going north. That might pit them against Arkansas. UAB traveling to Arkansas to take on the Razorbacks. Can they upset another SEC opponent? UAB can only get field goals. You got to score touchdowns. They do. 17-14. UAB hanging around. Got to get in the end zone. And they come up just short. All right, down goes UAB. Cinderella run is over for them, and Arkansas gets another W. All right, now 35 teams remaining. Could be NC State again. Wow. It is. NC State gets another opportunity. South, and it is the South Carolina Gamecocks. So NC State traveling to Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina up 7-0 now. NC State answers 7-7, 14-7 now Wolfpack, and we're into the second half. Gamecocks not going away, and they're actually going to take the lead here. Wolfpack got to get on the board. Three's not going to cut it. You got to score, and they do. It's all tied up. We're going to overtime. Wolfpack hang on to win in overtime in a thriller. All right, we have now officially eliminated 100 teams. So the full list of teams that have not played a game yet through 100 matchups so far is San Diego State, New Mexico, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Nebraska, Duke, Liberty, and Navy, I believe. I think everyone else at this point has played a game. Oh, and Miami of Ohio. Let madness ensue. We're getting right down to the wire in this thing. Let's go. Uh-oh, and UMass, who upset the Syracuse Orange, they now have an opportunity, and that could pit them against some pretty good teams. If they go south, it's going to be Penn State, I believe. So, and it is southwest or southeast. UMass going southeast to take on Boston College. This thing's a bloodbath here. Boston College giving the Minutemen the work. All right, the Minutemen are done. Boston College in their first game takes down UMass and takes a big control of the Northeast. Each sliver for each team is getting so big now from where we started. And it's almost Boston College again. Holy smokes. But no, it is Miami. I mean, they can really only play one team. It's going to be Miami traveling to Clemson. Big time ACC matchup here amongst ranked opponents. It's Hurricanes up first, 7-0, and Clemson not on the board, down 14-0, 21-0. Hurricanes have upset on the mind, 28-0 in the first half. You've got to be kidding me. This is insane. Clemson, 10 unanswered though. They are fighting back into this ball game, but it's the fourth quarter. Clemson has to get something done. They do late. What a comeback by Clemson! Hurricanes, though, score at the end of the game. All right, and one of the most crazy finishes we have seen. I mean, we've seen overtime games, but, I mean, the Clemson Tigers were down by 3 scores in the fourth quarter, battle back to take the lead, and then Miami finds a way to hang on, scoring at the buzzer, 8 seconds remaining to win the ball game, 41-38, and they take control of a chunk of South Carolina, all of Georgia, and some into Alabama, I believe, as well. And then also the entire state of Florida. So Miami still alive in this one. And Clemson, the Giant Slayer, is done. All right, I spun the wheel and I was on the wrong screen, but Liberty has been chosen. They're going southeast. It's going to pit them against the NC State Wolfpack. This would be a massive upset. And Liberty on the board first with 3. NC State answers with 3. Another 3. Liberty touchdown. NC State touchdown. Another touchdown. It's 20-10 now. Close game, though. And Liberty not going away. They make it a 3-point ball game in the fourth. Tie it up in the fourth quarter. Liberty Flames. Look at an upset. It's over. NC State scores at the buzzer. Liberty scored almost at the end of the game. And NC State scores at the final play, potentially. No way, bro. Liberty kicks a field goal to take the lead 23-20 with 31 seconds remaining. NC State got the ball with 29 seconds after the kickoff, and then they scored 12 seconds left on a 62-yard touchdown pass to win the game. I mean, that is unbelievable, dude. Okay, and down goes Liberty by the skin of their teeth. The NC State Wolfpack survive at home against the Liberty Flames. All right, back to the wheel. After this, we have 30 teams remaining. Okay, and it's going to be Memphis. They share borders with a billion different teams. All right, looks like they're going northwest. Ohio State is like inside of them. Pause. But like inside of their territory. I feel like it has to be Memphis, Ohio State. Like you can't go from the northwest corner when there's another team inside in your northwest quadrant. Like you can't. I'm going to do Memphis visiting Ohio State. It's kind of a sketchy one, but hey, I mean, we got to make the call somehow, you know? All right, here we go with the horseshoe. 7-0 Memphis Tigers early. 14-3 Memphis, but Ohio State continuing to score points. They take the lead now by 3. Memphis not going away, though. 21-17, 24-21.5. Ohio State pouring on the offense. But Memphis not going away. It's a 3-point ball game in the fourth quarter here. Memphis ties it up. Ohio State answers. It's all tied up in the fourth. 38-38. We're in overtime. 45-45, 48-45. And the Ohio State Buckeyes win in double overtime. 51-48. Okay, and there go the Buckeyes taking down Memphis. Absolute double overtime thriller, man. Memphis had made a good run, man. They took down Virginia Tech. They were a good team. They'd also beat another team to take their territory as well. Ooh, it's gonna be Virginia. Okay, Virginia haven't played in a long time, and they might have their hands full here as they're going east. NC State hosting another one, and this time it's the Virginia Cavaliers. 17-14 at halftime. NC State comes out of half, punches it in. 24-14. Cavaliers need to mount a fourth quarter comeback. Make it a 3-point ball game. Need to score. They cannot. No cigar. Again, another one-score game. And Virginia is done. 27-21. NC State hangs on to again avoid upset. They avoided just barely avoided being upset by the Liberty Flames, and now hang on again against the Virginia Cavaliers. NC State could be a candidate to make it into the top 10 of this one, if not win the whole thing. All right, down go the Virginia Cavaliers, and NC State continues to move north and keep their win streak going. Oh, God. Are we going to have NC State again? No. Oregon gets their shot. Moving back to the Pacific Northwest. Northwest. It's Oregon traveling to Boise. Would that ever be an upset? Boise up 7 early. Ducks answering with a couple of field goals. It's 7-6. A touchdown for the Ducks. Another touchdown for Boise. It's 14-7 or 27-14 run by the Ducks to end the first half. Boise got to get back on the board quickly. The Ducks are not going to hang around for long. It's a one-score game now. Boise had a chance to tie it up, and they couldn't do it. The Ducks will not be denied, even though they were shut out in the second half. A 24-point second quarter vaults them to the lead, and Boise just couldn't do enough to get the job done. All right, and we're seeing our biggest land share by a mile. Look at the Oregon Ducks in the top left. They are dominating right now. Oh, baby. First time LSU Tigers finally get their name called with 28 teams remaining. Going directly east, it's LSU traveling to Tuscaloosa to take on the Crimson Tide. This is the type of matchup we're waiting for, baby. Let's freaking go. The Crimson Tide are up 24-7 at halftime, 31-7. The Tigers are looking rusty. Their first game, and they get absolutely housed by the Crimson Tide. A late run, but it is too little, too late. All right, down go the LSU Tigers, and the 13th ranked team is one and done. Louisiana now belongs to Alabama, and it's going to be the Oregon Ducks on the board again. It's crazy that they just played. They're headed northeast, which I believe is going to get them a bye. It is. They're going to pick up North Dakota and avoid having to play another game. Just over Miami of Ohio. They're the luckiest team in this entire thing. I don't understand it. It damn near gets them, but it's Texas State. Directly east. Do they even have a border over there? And it's going to be Baylor. Baylor hosting Texas State. Here we go. 3-0 Bobcats early. Bears on the board with 7. Trying to defend home turf. Bobcats up 10-7. Baylor on the board again. It's back and forth here in Waco. 24-13 lead for the Bobcats. Baylor battling back. It's 24-16, 27-16, 34-16. The Bobcats making a run, and they will not be denied. Talk about an upset. The Texas State Bobcats take down the Baylor Bears and take a big portion of land. Look how big that Bobcats land is. That's freaking awesome. Let's go, man. There's no way. I mean, there's no way. You guys just saw me spin it. It's Texas State back-to-back. The wheel is tweaking out. The wheel really wants the Bobcats to go down. Northeast. Now, that could definitely be the Arkansas Razorbacks. It could also be the Alabama Crimson Tide. You know, you could really go either way. But we're going to go Texas State visiting Alabama Crimson Tide. What a crazy matchup this is. This would be the biggest upset we've seen. Bobcats up 7-0 early. 14-0. Texas State Bobcats up 21-0 on the Crimson Tide. 28-0. What is happening in the first half? The Crimson Tide battling back. Can they hang on? The Bobcats up 35-14. What is happening here in Tuscaloosa into the fourth quarter? Crimson Tide battling back. The Bobcats will not be denied. We get the biggest upset we've seen. 42-28. The Texas State Bobcats take down Alabama. Wow. Let's go. This is why we do imperialism, baby. All right, I'm shocked right now. The Texas State Bobcats go into Alabama and win. Not only win handedly. They scored 42 points on offense. Back-to-back wins, Baylor and Alabama. The wheel put them on the spot. The wheel must know something we don't, because that was insane. All right, boys, with 25 teams remaining, let's take a look back at some of the craziest moments we've had, who still remains, who's won some big ones, and who maybe hasn't even played at all yet. So starting out with the teams that have not played a game yet, we have Navy, we have Duke, we have Vanderbilt, we have Mississippi State, we have San Diego State, we have New Mexico, we have Nebraska. It's literally been repeat. Like, that's a crazy, like, a quarter of these teams have not played yet. I also don't believe Penn State has played. I could be wrong there. And also Miami of Ohio still has not played. So a quarter of the teams that remain, and some crazy upsets have happened. We saw number 1 Georgia lose in the first, like, 15 games. We saw Alabama just lost to the Bobcats. LSU couldn't even beat Alabama. Texas State comes in and handles business. We saw North Texas take down the Oklahoma State Cowboys. We saw Miami take down Clemson, who ran through the South. Kansas State had a big run in there. Then Kansas State lost to Kansas, and then Utah came in and beat Kansas. So we had some really crazy developments. Notre Dame has taken on a bunch of teams. Ohio State's only played like 2 games, I believe. But yeah, NC State has defended their territory time and time again. So we've still yet to see a lot of the top-ranked teams play a significant number of games. So that it'll be interesting to see how things shake out. We just saw Alabama fall to Texas State, so it can happen to literally anyone. It's been crazy. We've seen a ton of big upsets, but a bunch still to go here as we are into the top 25. The craziness is only getting started. It's time to dial in. Let's finish this thing strong. Here we go. And it's going to be another team who's already played. North Texas. They upset the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now let's see if they can win another one here. Okay, North Texas heading directly south. That direction south pits them against TCU. Now, I know TCU has a massive share on the left, but they still got their original land share right below North Texas. North Texas is an offensive juggernaut, 20-7 here in the first half, 27-7, but Horned Frogs not going away. They battle back with back-to-back scores. This is a shootout here. North Texas is going crazy. They will not be denied. The Mean Green get another one and a massive land share claimed from TCU. All right, these non-Power 5 Texas teams are going absolutely insane. North Texas with wins over TCU and Oklahoma State now, and Texas State with wins over Baylor and Alabama now. So each of them have ranked team wins. I mean, this is insane. Look at the territory by North Texas, and then look at the New Mexico Lobos. Just fucking chilling. TCU's done. It's the time of the Mean Green. Mississippi State finally gets their name called inside the top 25. They will play their first game here. They have to go northwest, and that's going to be a matchup with the Arkansas Razorbacks. 28-7 Razorbacks are playing extremely well. The Bulldogs not going away, though. 38-21. Bulldogs need a massive fourth quarter comeback. Can they get it? I don't think they can. Razorbacks, 45 points is hard to match. Razorbacks have probably been the best unranked team throughout this entire thing, and they get another W. Mississippi State, one and done. And we got Boston College getting another chance here, and they're going southeast. Boston College traveling to Penn State. Boston College just getting worked here by the Nittany Lions. 35-0. They finally get on the board in the fourth quarter. 42-7 though, 42-14. It's a bloodbath. Alrighty, down goes Boston College. Penn State with their first win. They got a massive land share now in the Northeast and share a big-time border with not only NC State, but also Ohio State. Okay, it's going to be Miami. Northwest. It's just north enough. It's going to be the Arkansas Razorbacks. 41 first half points for the Miami Hurricanes. What is happening to the Razorbacks? 55 points. Holy smokes. A statement game from the Miami Hurricanes as they take down the Razorbacks, who had like 5 or 6 wins. Okay, the Miami Hurricanes now with a top 3 land share, man, and they take down the Arkansas Razorbacks, who were probably one of the winningest, if not the winningest unranked opponent or unranked team left in this entire Imperialism run, man. They had won like 5 or 6 games, so it's a big time win. Okay, so after this game, there will be only 20 teams remaining. That's absolutely insane. And Michigan, who hasn't had their name called in a long time, is back up on the hot seat. They share borders with Ohio State, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, and they're going west, which is going to pit them against the Wisconsin Badgers. And a battle of defenses here. 14-7 Michigan. Badgers get 3 before halftime. We're into the second half. 17-10. 20-10 Wolverines. Wolverines doing just enough, but Wisconsin answers late. 27-17. It's going to be the Wolverines hanging on in a low-scoring defensive game. Something both these teams value highly and are very good at. All right, down goes Wisconsin. A big-time 88 overall team is done. And another Big Ten team eliminated. Michigan, number 9 team in the country, gets the W. And Still a lot of ranked teams left. And it's San Diego State. They're going southeast. San Diego State going to Texas to take on North Texas in the Mean Green. 14-10 now. San Diego State coming back, but the Mean Green get a touchdown of their own. It's 21-10 in the second half here. 24-10. San Diego State going to need a fourth quarter comeback. Can they get it done? Down by one score late. The Mean Green shut the door, and San Diego State falls just short. Okay, down go the Aztecs. North Texas continuing their run of dominance, and they now pretty much share borders with all incredible teams unless they have to face the New Mexico Lobos, who are completely sandwiched by North Texas. Things could get crazy here. Straight past Duke to Wake Forest. And Wake Forest going east or west and slightly south. Wake Forest traveling to Ohio State to take on the Buckeyes. It's 21 all at halftime. 28-21. Demon Deacons is 28 all now. Holy smokes. Buckeyes up by 10 now into the fourth. Demon Deacons need something, and they're just short. The Buckeyes again avoid upset and escape with a 3-point win against Wake Forest, dude. Ohio State Buckeyes, either call it what you want, finding a way or playing with fire, they advance. All right, it's absolutely hilarious to me. Look at the land share for Ohio State now, but look at Duke and Miami of Ohio. These little tiny squares just tucked away. Navy's still in there as well, but those guys are so funny because they're completely like surrounded, especially Miami of Ohio. They're just completely surrounded by Ohio State. It's hilarious. No way, it's going to be the Bobcats. Texas State again gets selected. The wheel loves them. Northwest for Texas State. Bobcats trying to take down another ranked opponent in the Miami Hurricanes. Let's go. I know you guys at home are rooting for the Bobcats. 10-0 Miami. Bobcats need to answer back. They get 7. There we go. Miami gets stopped at the goal line. Bobcats up. 17-14 though. Miami answers back, and the defense for the Bobcats needs to get a stop. We got to get back on the board, boys. They make it a one-score game. Miami will not leave the door open, though. Oh, no. Absolute bummer. And Texas State is done. And the Miami Hurricanes now battling with Oregon for the biggest land share. I actually think they might have it. But, hey, don't count those North Texas Mean Green out, man. Duke. Miami of Ohio still hiding, but Duke, I speak it into existence. They're going south, and that's going to be NC State. Duke traveling to NC State. Let's go. 31-3. This one is over in the fourth quarter. Duke snuck into the top 20 by never playing a game, and they get blown out their only time playing. Not ideal. All right, down goes Duke. One and done. After this game, there's 15 teams remaining. Uh-oh. And just as I said, the wheel will find them. Vanderbilt has been found out. That's more east, and that will be Ohio State hosting the Vanderbilt Commodores. It's 31-10, and that's all she wrote. Vanderbilt could really do nothing on offense. 10 points is awful. All right, we've reached the top 15, and there are still 4 teams that have not played a game yet in New Mexico, Nebraska, Miami of Ohio, and Navy. Out of the top 15, I think 10 of them are ranked in the top 25. So, I mean, that's not crazy. There's still potential for madness. Let's go. Miami of Ohio. Their number is called, and there's only one team that they can play. That is the Ohio State Buckeyes. This would be madness. The chances of this are 1 in a million, but this just could be the one. And Ohio State pours it on. It's 49-3. Stop scoring. The game is over. Please. All right, Miami of Ohio has been erased off the map, and Ohio State now owns that territory alone. Number 14 will be... Is it going to be Ohio State? No way. Just played on defense. They're now going on offense, traveling to take on someone. And the Ohio State Buckeyes are going directly east to go take on the Fighting Irish. Number 2 traveling to number 8. Let's go. This is a battle here. 14-7 Irish. 17-7 Irish. Buckeyes kind of getting slowed down. 24-10 into the second half. 24-13, 31-13. The Irish are handling business at home. It's 38-13. It's all Irish, baby. 38-13. They destroy the Buckeyes at home, and the number 2 team in the country is done. Okay, Notre Dame has been dominant throughout this thing. Taking down the Buckeyes is no small feat, and now they claim the majority of the Midwest with that big-time win, and we now only have 2 teams remaining from the top 5. And Iowa will get their number called. They have not played in a long time. They will go northeast to take on the Fighting Irish, who will again be attacked and get a home field advantage. This is a low-scoring affair here. 24-9 though. 24-16. Hawkeyes make it a 1-score game. Notre Dame trying to shut the door, and they do. Hawkeyes keep it interesting late, but could not get the job done. It's 31-23, and Notre Dame gets another win. And there goes Iowa. Notre Dame continuing their run. Now Nebraska, Navy, New Mexico. Will they get their number called, or will they make it into the top 10? Because we only have a couple of spots left. 12 teams remaining out of the original 134. Would you have picked New Mexico to make it? Probably not. Michigan now up, and Michigan will be headed southwest, and that's going to be a matchup with Nebraska. And the Wolverines get on the board right before half and make it a 10-point game. Cornhuskers get a field goal. It's 13-6 here. Still anybody's ball game here. 16-6, 19-6, 19-13. Cornhuskers score at the very end, but it's just too little too late, man. The game, it was anybody's game. Absolute defensive battle. It's classic Big Ten football. Wolverines get the job done on the road, hang on, and all but solidify their spot into the top 10, pending one more game. All right, Nebraska could only evade playing a game for so long. The Wolverines take down the Cornhuskers, and now only 2 teams remain that have not played a game. That is the New Mexico Lobos and the Navy Midshipmen, and only 1 game left until the top 10. Will they squeak in, or will they have to play right on the edge of it? Oregon, though, has been selected, and they're going northeast. That's gonna be Michigan. So it could maybe be the Utes, but I'm standing on business that this is going to point to the northeast corner, and that's going to take us to Michigan. So I just said Michigan had all but punched their ticket pending 1 game. Unfortunately, they've got to host the Oregon Ducks to get their spot into the top 10. Here we go. 4th-ranked Ducks, 9th-ranked Michigan Wolverines at the Big House. Let's go. All right, Ducks up 6-0 early, 13-0. Wolverines trying to get on the board. They get 3. And then maybe 6. Okay, Wolverines battling back. It's 13-all now. 27 unanswered by the Wolverines. Making a push. Ducks back on the board. This one is going to come right down to the wire. Wolverines will not be denied. Offensive explosion. Ducks tie it up late. Michigan with a late field goal. And Michigan has won. The Ducks going home. 24 points in the second quarter. And a late field goal from the Wolverines to take down the 4th-ranked Ducks. All right, boys, the top 10 teams are locked in. We have the Michigan Wolverines, the Utah Utes, the North Texas Mean Green, the New Mexico Lobos, the Texas Longhorns, Miami Hurricanes, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the NC State Wolfpack, Penn State Nittany Lions, and the Navy Midshipmen. New Mexico and Navy made it in without ever playing a game, and the rest of the teams have fought their way in. So the only team that is unranked that fought their way in is the North Texas Mean Green. They have wins over Oklahoma State, they have wins over TCU, and they have wins over San Diego State, I believe, are the 3. So they have been upsetting left and right. Don't count that team out. Top 10 on the way. Let's go. As we enter the top 10, boys, as well, think about all the top 5 teams that are gone. We don't have Georgia in here. No Ohio State, no Ole Miss, no Oregon. Just the Texas Longhorns, who have only played 2 games. 1 game, actually, maybe. They beat UTEP, I believe. That was the only win they had, and UTEP beat UTSA. So they've actually only played 1 game, but are still probably have to be one of the favorites to win this whole thing. So things are about to get crazy. Let's go. Notre Dame, who's fought tooth and nail to get into the top 10. Some dominant wins. They took down Ohio State in dominant fashion. Southwest is where they are headed. Notre Dame visiting the Miami Hurricanes. Let's go. 7-0 Fighting Irish early. Hurricanes on the board with 3. Then a touchdown. It's 10-7. Hurricanes with 13 unanswered. Fighting Irish trying to get back on the board. They do not. 16 unanswered for the Hurricanes. Fighting Irish finally get a touchdown. Back-to-back scores quickly. 21-16 Fighting Irish. Field goal for the Hurricanes. It's late in the 4th. And the Irish hold on to get the job done. All right, Miami is done. And Notre Dame seems to be the ranked team killer. They have taken down a bunch of ranked teams now. And they're looking to continue dominance. Them and Michigan have over half the country in land share, I would say. So something crazy is bound to happen here. Let's keep on going, man. 9 teams remaining. Uh-oh. Michigan back on the board. How the hell are Navy and New Mexico still not getting chosen? They are defying the odds. They're going south, and south will pit them. There's multiple teams south, but because there's a slight west to it, it's going to be the Utah Utes. If it was all the way over here, angled way west, it would be North Texas. But that's going to be Michigan playing the Utah Utes. Here we go. Utes need to get something together. It's a 21-7 ball game, 28-7. Michigan closing the door, running away with this one. And they will get the big-time W. The Utes are done. And Michigan continues their dominant run. They will not be denied. All right, Michigan is proving to be a top contender in this college football 25 Imperialism, man. They have now taken down Nebraska, Oregon, and Utah inside the last 3 games, man. So they're handling business, but the levee's going to break sooner or later. And Texas has finally been chosen by the wheel. They will have to take on either Notre Dame or North Texas. And it's going to be Northwest, which is going to pit them against the North Texas Mean Green, who have had upset on the mind. Can they continue the Cinderella run, or will this be the end of North Texas? It's the battle for Texas. Here we go. And we just got to say, regardless of what happens, man, shout out to the North Texas Mean Green, man. They made it to the top 8 of 134 team college football 25 Imperialism. Like, top 8, a 79 overall. North Texas Mean Green team, 73 offense, who's been scoring lights out against top teams time and time again. So this would be the cherry on top of the sundae for them, a win against the Texas Longhorns. Shout out North Texas, man. Hell of a run. Let's see if it continues. All right, Mean Green up 3-0 early. Texas with 7 of their own. This is going to be hard, and the Mean Green have got to put points up against this Longhorns team. 21-3. It's not looking good. 28-3. The Mean Green just don't have it on the offensive side of the football today. A late run with 7 or 10 unanswered, I believe. But, hey, shout out to the Mean Green. Texas, just too good of a ball club. Out with North Texas. The Cinderella run comes to an end at the hands of the Longhorns. But, hey, man, they made it to the top 8. That's pretty special, and they didn't do it the way that New Mexico and Navy did. They actually played games, won games, and upset teams. So pretty special stuff. But we are into the top 7 now. Could it be New Mexico? Finally, they're completely surrounded by Texas. So it's going to be New Mexico visiting Texas. The Lobos up 3-0 early, 6-0. Longhorns on the board though, but a close game. Lobos hanging around 9-7 here. 14-9. Lobos have got to put a touchdown on the board. They do. It's 15-14, 22-15, 25-15, 32-15, 35-15. Lobos are falling apart late. No! The Lobos put up a great fight, but unfortunately come up just short. Okay, we now only have 1 team remaining who could pull off an upset from unranked to ranked. So Navy stands alone as we now have 6 teams remaining. Spot in the top 5 up for grabs, and it's gonna be Navy. Wow. Can they pull off an upset and prove that they actually do belong in the top 5? We're about to find out, and they're gonna have their hands full regardless of the direction that they're going, and they're going north. Navy traveling to Penn State to take on the Nittany Lions, and a spot in the top 5 on the line. Navy on the board early, 3-0. Penn State ties it up 3-3. It's a defensive battle here. Navy with a lead, 10-3. Low scoring game. Nittany Lions can't get anything going. Navy has to get on the board. You can't allow this team to hang around. It's 16-13. Navy with a chance late. Can they do it? No! Navy had a chance. They had it in the palm of their hands. Great defense. But they just could not score enough. And they can't get a field goal late. Oh. Okay, boys. And here is your top 5 of college football 25 Imperialism. We had 134 teams to start this thing. We now have 5 remaining. We have the 3rd ranked Texas Longhorns, the 7th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, the 8th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the 9th ranked Michigan Wolverines, and I believe the 22nd ranked NC State Wolfpack, man. The Wolfpack probably have to be the big surprise of this whole thing, and honestly, they won a couple of big games, but they really have just kind of hung around and not been attacked by anybody too good for the majority of this thing. They had a couple scares. Liberty Flames almost took them out. A couple other teams gave them a really good battle, but they've hung on and found a way to get to the top 5. You know, Michigan's won a bunch of big games. Texas played probably the least games of any team here. Notre Dame and Michigan have played more games than the other 3 combined by a mile. This one's going to be crazy. I have no idea how it's going to shake out. Drop in the comments right now if you've gotten to the top 5 and let me know who you are rooting for in this top 5, and let's get into it. There's only one winner of Imperialism. It looks like Michigan is first up inside the top 5. They're going northeast. And I mean, we're going to take the East matchup, I guess, because there is an East factor. And northeast of them at a point is Notre Dame. So it's going to be Michigan taking on Notre Dame, a claim to the biggest land share in this entire thing by a mile. They would have over half the country to themselves. The winner of this will, I should say. It's going to be 9th ranked Michigan traveling to 8th ranked Notre Dame. Let's go. Notre Dame up 3-0 early. Michigan responds with 7 of their own into the second quarter. Now Michigan field goal. It's still a 1-score game. 17-3 Michigan, though. 24-3 Michigan. The Fighting Irish have no answer for the Wolverines. 27-3. Fighting Irish doing absolutely nothing on offense. They are done. It's all Michigan. All right, and down go the Fighting Irish, who probably had to be one of the favorites to win this thing at this point based off how well they have played against ranked teams. But Michigan just goes in there and handles business, man. They've been taking down a ton of ranked opponents, and the Irish were not any different, man. So we now have Michigan, Texas, NC State, and Penn State. It's time to go. 4 teams with a chance at glory here, as we're going to get Penn State, and they are headed northwest. That's going to be Penn State traveling to the Big House. They would like 20x the amount of land they have with a win at Michigan, and they're the higher seed. So is this an upset? You tell me. Let's go. They do get 3 early. Michigan responds with 7. It is a defensive battle. 14-10 here. Nittany Lions make it a 1-point game. Heading into halftime, it is a 1-point game. Nittany Lions take the lead here in the 3rd, and they are up by... It's all Nittany Lions! Holy smokes! Nittany Lions go on a crazy run. Wolverines trying to battle back, but it is too little, too late. 41-36, the Nittany Lions have taken down the Michigan Wolverines. They have done it at the Big House. Number 7 takes down number 9 and takes control of the largest land share in the country. All right, I'm shocked that Michigan just lost that game. Penn State coming off a game where they'd only beat Navy by 3, 16-13. They go into the Big House, hang 41 on Michigan, who Michigan's defense held Notre Dame to 11. Like, it's just, every game is so independent of trend and everything. Like, it's any game, anything could happen. We've seen the upsets. We've seen the madness. And Penn State has found their way into the top 3. All right, the wheel has 3 spots remaining. Who will it land on? No way it lands on Penn State again. Unbelievable. And they're going west. And to take on none other than the 3rd-ranked Texas Longhorns. The NC State Wolfpack will be in the top 2. A spot in the championship on the line as Penn State jumps out to a 3-0 lead. Texas answers. It's 3-3. Penn State right back with a touchdown. It's 10-3. Texas with a field goal. 10-6. Into the second half. 10-6. A defensive game. Penn State up by 10. But Longhorns respond to make it a 3-point game. And we're into the fourth quarter. Longhorns take the lead. Penn State needs to answer. Can they? It's a one-score game. Penn State ties it up. We go to OT. Overtime. Double overtime. Penn State wins by 2 in double overtime to take down the third-ranked Longhorns. What a game! You can't make this shit up. Imperialism is unbelievable. Wow! I thought it was going to be the Longhorns. The Longhorns scored with 8 seconds left in the ballgame on a 44-yard touchdown pass to Caden Saunders and kicked the extra point with no time left to tie it to go to OT. So in overtime, Texas scores first. Penn State responds with a touchdown as well to make it a 30-30 ball game. Then Penn State gets the ball back and kicks a field goal to make it a 33-33 game, or 30 to make it 33-30. And then Texas responds as well with a field goal. It's 33-33. Texas fails on the 2-point. Then Penn State fails on the 2-point. Then Drew Aller converts on the 2-point, and Texas fails once again. So that is, what, triple overtime that they went to? And Penn State gets the W, 35-33. Instant classic. And Penn State has sealed their spot in the championship against NC State. Okay, we have made it to the championship, and I don't think anyone would have predicted these two teams being there. The number 7 Nittany Lions, the number 22 ranked NC State Wolfpack, man. I mean, I honestly don't think anyone would have predicted this. Maybe the Nittany Lions, but I don't think anybody would have predicted NC State to be there. Now, NC State kind of squeaked in. They got a couple of wins early, but they really haven't beaten anybody legit recently, or honestly, I don't think they haven't beaten a top 10 team or anything like that. Penn State has now taken down the Longhorns, the Michigan Wolverines. I think are their big 2 wins. I don't think they have any other massive wins to my knowledge. So Penn State has earned their right here. NC State not so much, but again, like it's just how it falls, man. We go by the wheel. It's a random pick. You know, you go off the direction, you use your best judgment, and we've had some crazy upset wins along the way. It's been absolutely insane and just proves how, like, amazing this has been. This process has been awesome, and we get in an awesome matchup that nobody would have predicted. Like, if we would have got Ohio State, Alabama, I would have been disappointed because, like, I like the randomness. The upsets were awesome. Alabama losing to Texas State, like, that's what I'm talking about, baby. So I love this matchup. I'm ready. Penn State, NC State. Now, the wheel is going to decide who's playing at home and who's playing at away. And that could honestly play a major factor. Let's hop over to the wheel to choose the setting of the championship and the final game of 134 of College Football 25 Imperialism. Okay, here we go. Final wheel spin. 2 choices. And Penn State is going to be attacking. The final game is played in Raleigh, North Carolina, home of the Wolfpack. No arrow spin needed. Okay, number 7 versus number 22 to bring home the championship and the winner of College Football 25 Imperialism. These teams fought tooth and nail to get here. 134 teams and only one winner, boys. It's been a long ride, a long journey. I've been recording this over a week, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top. Here we go. Little do these teams know, this is the championship. Penn State with the ball first. They don't get there. 3 points by NC State. Penn State answers. Another field goal for NC State. Another field goal for Penn State. Low-scoring field goal game. NC State finally with a touchdown. And another field goal. And another field goal. NC State with upset on the mind. Can they do it? Penn State battling back in, and they take the lead late. NC State with opportunity to take the lead. They do. Penn State cannot get it done. NC State has won College Football 25 Imperialism. What? Madness. Number 22 takes down Penn State. Oh my God. And Penn State battled back. They had every opportunity to win. I thought it was Penn State all the way at the end there. And NC State scores 6 late and wins the ball game 25-20. I guess it proves that it's just a good deal to just wait on the sideline, wait for your opportunity, and then execute and win when called upon. And that's just what the Wolfpack did throughout this thing. And there you have it, boys. The final map with one winner. The NC State Wolfpack are the champions of college football 25 Imperialism, man. So much time, so many hours, so much work, but so much fun going into this video, man. 134 games played, one winner. And I don't think anybody probably would have predicted the 22nd ranked Wolfpack winning the whole damn thing, man. And their path to the championship above my head. I will pull that in once I'm done editing, but just a massive thank you to anyone who watched this video, man. Ton of work went into it. If you have not already, man, drop a like, drop a follow, man. I want to make more videos like this. If you did enjoy it, man, let me know in the comments who you thought was the craziest game, craziest finish, craziest upset. We saw a bunch of them. Texas State and Alabama, the biggest one that comes to mind for me. I believe that was probably the biggest upset. But we saw some others, man. North Texas made some noise as well, and many other games as well. And some that came just short, like Memphis almost knocking off Ohio State, went to double overtime, and Ohio State finds a way to hang on. So just some crazy games along the way. And thank you guys for joining me along with it, man. So congrats to NC State. We're going to also be doing Madden 25 Imperialism on the docket, man. So be on the lookout for that video as well. But thank you guys so much. And we will see you in the next video, man. Peace.